As AI workloads push rack densities higher, traditional air cooling is reaching its limits. Operators are therefore asking whether to build new liquid-cooled facilities or retrofit the infrastructure they already have. Supported by Airedale, this video introduces STL Partners' Retrofit Viability Framework, which helps determine when retrofitting older sites for liquid-cooled workloads makes sense and when greenfield development may be the better option. While retrofit can look attractive on cost and speed, it brings disruption, migration risk, and operational complexity. That means it only works in the right markets, for the right sites, and under the right commercial conditions. So, to determine whether retrofit is viable, STL Partners has produced the Retrofit Viability Framework. This framework has two dimensions. The first is retrofit pressure. This asks, how strong is the external push to retrofit in a particular market? Retrofit pressure depends on two factors: demand for AI and HPC capacity, and access to power. In markets where AI demand is low and power is accessible, retrofit pressure is limited. Liquid cooling demand is lower, so operators are more likely to add new liquid cooled capacity selectively over time as demand matures, rather than retrofit older facilities. Retrofit pressure rises where either demand is strengthening or power access is becoming more constrained. Here, retrofit starts to become more relevant, but the case still depends on the specific site, customer need, and commercial trigger. Retrofit pressure becomes acute where strong AI demand meets severe power constraints. In these markets, existing powered sites becomes highly valuable, and retrofit may be one of the fastest ways to unlock high density capacity. The second dimension is operator archetype. Not every operator has the same ability to retrofit. At the top are hyperscalers and AI scale-ups. They are best placed to retrofit proactively because they can underwrite demand internally. They know their own workload requirements and can justify upgrades earlier. In the middle are wholesale colocation providers. Their case is stronger than retail colocation, especially as there's often a single large tenant. But they still need clear commercial guardrails to ensure the upgrade will support long-term site value. At the bottom are retail colocation providers. These are the hardest environments to retrofit because there are many tenants, different lease timelines, and greater coordination challenges. For them, retrofit is usually only viable where there is a clear anchor requirement, underused capacity, or a major lease event that creates room to act. When these two dimensions are combined, operators can identify one of three stances from our framework. The first is cautious contemplation. Retrofit is possible, but only in narrow and highly specific cases. The second is active consideration. Retrofit is becoming credible and should be evaluated seriously, but is still gated by demand, return on investment, power, and technical feasibility. The third is strategic priority. In this position, retrofit is no longer just an option, it becomes part of the operator's core capacity strategy. Once an operator has decided retrofit is strategically justified, the next question is execution. Our research highlights a technical checklist across two stages. The assessment stage asks whether the asset is retrofit ready. Operators need to examine power availability and distribution, select the right high-density cooling strategy, and use CFD and structural modeling to test whether the building can support heavier racks, new pipework, additional cable routes, and changed thermal conditions. The execution stage asks whether the retrofit can be delivered safely. This means planning customer workload migration, sequencing, on-site works, and managing live site risks such as water leaks, pressure drops, dust, vibration, noise, and power disturbance. If considering pursuing a retrofit, our recommendations are as follows. Use the framework to decide whether a retrofit is a cautious option, an active consideration, or a strategic priority. Assess the quality of customer demand, not just the volume of inquiries. Define a trigger point for action based on your operator archetype. Treat cooling vendors as strategic partners, especially when monitoring, controls, and software integration will matter over time. And finally, treat retrofit as an ongoing operational program, not a one-off upgrade. For more detail, read our full report here.